video is perfectly fine in terms of like I'm being seen and yeah, properly because I really cannot see. I really cannot see, and this is like a 10 number. I don't know what. Just to get this video started, so I really hope I got it right. Thank you so much for joining my channel. If it's your first time joining me, my name is Rinnah, aka Rinnah Revolution. That's on. Period. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for tuning back in. I hope this video is really gonna teach you something, because or you're gonna learn something from this video. That's my hope. We're about to talk about a very important subject, and as you can see by the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about mental health today. So guys, I don't know, my throat is just funny, and since yesterday and today, my mood has just been heavy and just like, yeah, like it's just been heavy, man. You can feel it in the air, like it's just so heavy. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, is maybe by now it's probably on everyone's timeline. Ricky, guys, Ricky is no more with us. He decided to commit suicide because of personal reasons. And yeah, that is basically just what inspired me to kind of sit here and shoot this video for you guys. Because personally for me, I just feel like mental health is so deep and it's really not understood. People think you can choose to be not okay. People think it's a choice, like, why didn't you just, like, it's like the arrogance, the ignorance when it comes to people and how they take mental health and when it's brought up, and just the comments that most people make, man, it's just so much arrogance. So, for this specific video, I think I know I'm going to touch on mental health, like, in general, but I wanted to talk about mental health in terms of guys, in terms of men, because with everything that has happened, a lot of men are speaking up now on how they think mental health, like a lot of men are speaking up as to why they don't open up. And I saw this meme where there was Will Smith this side and then the late Ricky this side, where it says with men there's only two options. It's either you open up and become a meme, or you boil up and become a melody. And that's just like so wrong on so many levels. But before we get into that, let me read this quote that I saw on Instagram from Namibian account. The question goes, why don't men open up? So the answer is, men can actually express their feelings in opening up, but at the same time, they know doing so results in the loss of respect, status, and attraction. It costs them far much in the long run than the momentary benefits. This is what women don't seem to understand about men's mental health. When they come and say, why don't men open up? Women don't lose anything by opening up, by opening up. But for a man, it's a different story. He knows once he does, after the euphoria, he'll be viewed as weak. Guys, I'm gonna read this one more time. I'm sorry if I'm. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna read this one more time. So, yeah. Why don't men open up? Men can actually express their feelings as in opening up, but at the same time, they know doing so results in the loss of respect, status, and attraction. It costs them far much in the long run than the momentary benefits. This is what women don't seem to understand about men's mental health. When they come and say, why don't men open up? Women don't lose anything up by opening up, but for a man, it's a different story. He knows once he does, after the euphoria, he'll be viewed as weak. Guys, just based on this name, there's something that I want to touch on. The general tone of this message. It's more like women, it's a thing between women and men. Like, first of all, mental health has nothing to do with women and men. Like, this is not about whether you're a woman or you're about a man. You need to remove that gender role when it comes to your mental health. I swear to God, because even you as a high time, guys, we stop looking at ourselves like, oh, I'm a woman, oh, I'm a man. Before all of that, you are a human being. Like, you are a human being. That plays a much better role in like helping you understand certain things. So, for example, this nigga saying no, these men saying some words. I don't know if YouTube's gonna reflect my video for that, but I'm black and it's not racist. Some black men think it's an issue of how you're gonna be seen in society, how you're gonna be dealt with in society, your status. Like when it comes to your mental health, so you're willing to be unhappy because of how society is gonna see you. Like you're willing to go through that dark space because of society. Like there comes a point in your life where you need to put you first. Like middle finger to the society, man. This is about you. This is about your well-being. Society is gonna be there. Society has been there. Society is not your friend. Like if you think you are gonna be in a position to please society before you take care of yourself, then that's gonna cost you. And it's gonna cost you so much, including your mental health. So yes, we do understand that that's what society is gonna say, like you're weak, or but do you really have to care about that when you know this is your life you're playing with? And mostly the people that come and call you those names are people who don't, to be honest, I feel like if you are a person who's smart, like and knowledgeable in life, you wouldn't call someone weak when they're talking about their mental health. Like if you understand what mental health is, you wouldn't even have the audacity to open your mouth and say, no, this man is weak because he's opening up. Like you just wouldn't. And those are the people that are out here controlling you on how you should take it. Like I have learned in this life, like there are some people who don't understand certain things that you understand in life. Like life involves a lot of things. People's consciousness, people are not as developed as you might be. That's why some conversations you cannot have them with certain people. Or if you have those conversations with those people, they are gonna make you feel like you are so lame, like that kind of feeling. But you are not. The truth is these people are not evolved enough. They're not that conscious enough to know what you're talking about, to understand where you're coming from. So if you're gonna sit there and be worried about society calling you weak because as a black man you're opening up about your mental health and that is what you're willing to put on the line, then I think let's try to change that. Let's try to rephrase it. This is about you, so you cannot let society win because that's what you're actually doing. If you're gonna not open up, and when we say open up, we are not saying talk to a lot of people or let people know your things. It can even start with opening up to yourself. Like most of us are not honest with ourselves. Majority of people are not honest with themselves. They cannot look themselves in the mirror and accept their flaws and accept their truth and accept their not truth, like. So it's just, you need to open up to yourself. When you are not fine, you need to tell yourself, you need to start telling yourself that, hey, I'm not fine right now. You need to accept that. Like, I'm really hurt by this. People don't like getting in their feelings no more, eh? Because society has trained you not to give up. And then you don't give up even about your own feelings. Like, it's that deep. It gets to a point where you don't even give up about your own feelings. Like you should, if there's anything, you should give a fuck about yourself, especially about yourself. If there's any fuck left to give, just give it to yourself. Care about your feelings, be self-aware, know when you're not happy, know when something is not fine. When you're really not fine, admit that. Don't try to be all gang, all yeah, admit that in the, like no, be a nigga but cry. Like be a gangster but cry. Like I'm a gangster with soft feelings. One thing about me, and I'm proud of it. Like I'm proud of my sensitivity. I'm proud of the fact that I really get hurt about something that I'm not happy about, and I will communicate that. And for the longest time, that hasn't been like an easy thing to do. Like trust me, I've been called names in society. Like she thinks she's all that. First of all, I don't think I'm all that. But if you think I'm all that, You're not wrong, baby, because I am all that. Second of all, it didn't come from that place. It came from a place of where I was really hurt and I really wanted to speak up and I really wanted to be heard and I just really wanted to communicate my feelings because that's what I thought or I feel like is gonna make me better, you know? Babe! Yeah, so yeah, that's that part. And then there's this part of like momentary benefits. It's not a momentary benefit. It's not a momentary benefit. That's a benefit for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life. You're taking care of yourself now so that you can fulfill your purpose. You can see what God has in store for your life. Hopefully with a peaceful mind and calm mind and no anxieties and unnecessary anxieties like unnecessary nerves and sometimes nerves are good. A little bit of anxiety is good, because it's like you're a human being and you're doing certain things for the first time. So you cannot not expect to have the anxiety or the nerves or it's normal. But when you let that control you, then that's where we need to have to find the balance because you cannot let emotions control you because you are not your emotions. Your emotions are just something. Treat your emotions like visitors just passing by. You know, something that's just passing by. Okay, let me continue reading this. Opening up is a female privilege. When she opens up, people get worried and help her. She actually benefits from being fragile, but when it's a man, people ignore, and if they pay any attention, it's usually negative attention. He's so weak, man up, he's pathetic, and when he usually ends up succumbing to the struggle and commit suicide, they'll ask, why didn't he open up? Because he waited up, it will have cost him more opening up than taking the alternative. Guys, the opening up is a female privilege. When she opens up, people get worried and help her. She actually benefits from being fragile. When it's a man, people ignore, and if they pay any attention, it's usually negative attention. He's so weak, man up, he's pathetic. And when he usually ends up succumbing to the struggle and commits suicide, they'll ask, why didn't he open up? Because he waited up, it would have cost him more opening up than taking the alternative. Do you guys hear the last part? It would have cost him more opening up than taking the alternative. Are you guys serious right now? Are you guys really trying to say that? Oh my god, I'm getting chills. Are you guys really trying to say that how people see you is more important than how you see yourself, than taking care of yourself, taking care of your mental health? This just gives, it's giving when you're a person who usually seeks for attention and validation from people, then you will always succumb to what people think or say about you if you're the type of person who's always seeking their attention and their validation. Like, I know it's hard, we are human beings. Attention is good here and there, and validation is good here and there. But you need to get it from the right people. You need to get it from the right company. You see, you are actually seeking for validation and attention from a wrong person who doesn't even care, who's even gonna call you weak when you're talking about your mental health because this is how much they don't even understand anything of the world, let alone mental health. They're so out of they're so out of touch with reality. That's a J. Cole line. They're so out of touch with reality. There are people out there who are so out of touch with reality that think life is all about the material world. Like, there is so much to this world than just the material world. That's why the people who even have the material world can succumb to depression, which is a mental health issue. Because this world, I promise you, you can have all the material things you want in your life. But if you are not fine within, that is just the first step. What did he say that? That's why he said be careful what you choose to use as your outlet. Like you get stuck in this material stuff, into drugs, into alcohol, into whatever. Like let me tell you something, Chia. The truth is, I think as a person, like you need something to help you cope. We all have our coping mechanisms, but our coping mechanisms need to come to a certain extent. Like we need to be that's a balance. Finding balance in this world is just what's what's actually needed for every person because the good and the bad coexist. There's no good without bad and there's no bad without good. That's why it's very important to strike your balance. Every person has a bad side and a good side. It depends which side you feed more. You know what I'm saying? It depends which side you feed more. If you feed the good side, you become too good. And trust me, there is no such thing as perfection. And sometimes we are stuck chasing that, and you just get to realize perfection doesn't exist. And it's these people out here that are trying to put the pressure on you, and then once you start caring, once you start caring about what people think about you, especially, then that's gonna be you're gonna find it hard to live your life. Trust me, because if you care about what people think so much when it comes to you, it's gonna be hard living your life. Because in this world, it's all about you first. You first. Do what you like. Everybody's out here busy doing what they like. Trust me. You think they don't like these things? Some people actually like toxicity. Some people are aware that they are toxic and they choose that because that's what they like. And they are okay with that. And they are the ones that are so strong, trust me, they will never ever commit suicide. Because they like it, they're enjoying it, they're living their lives, they feel game. I'm so sorry to say that, but that's just how I view it, and that's what I think for me is the truth. Because there's some people who like toxicity that they will try to, if we are not careful, it will get to you. It will get to you. Certain pressures of the world will get to you, and if you learn to give a fuck about them all the time, you are not going to progress. Society is being there, society is always going to be there. Let me tell you this, guys. My bully always used to scream that word, society, society. Like, she would always just say society, society. And I never understood it. But then there was a time it literally clicked, man. I was like, society, society. I was like, oh, she was probably trying to teach me how society is, you know? Because I was this naive girl who always, I had this romanticized idea of life. Guys, yo, talk about being naive and delusional. I'm a Cancer, that's a period. That's all we do. We just romanticize our life. Just enjoy life, nice life, soft life. Rinnah about that. I'm the girl like in my head. But yeah, uh, there's that. The fact that people say this guy just said that it would have cost him more opening up, so he didn't take the alternative. This is such a guys, mental health is deep. Like mental health is deep. Even me sitting here trying to talk about it, I'm realizing how deep it actually is. Because it's all about your brain, what you believe. You can never ever convince a person. If this guy believes that opening up them is worse for men, so the better thing is taking the alternative. That right there is mental health. I can sit here and talk all of these beautiful rainbow stories and try to be like, no, hopefully that gets to someone. Because if you really look at it from that side, if we are honest, if you get it, you get it. But now, for example, if you want to talk to a person who just has this belief in their head and they locked it and they choose not to listen to other people, what do you think then happens if you are in that dark space? You feel like nothing is just worth it. Like it's not a thing of like I don't know, man. I really don't know how that feels because I've been in a place actually where I tried committing suicide before. Like, yeah, I tried committing suicide before, but it wasn't a thing of like, I think I was depressed. I think it was more like, I don't know, man. For mine, it was just deep. I don't know whether it was attention seeking from like, I don't know, but I came to a point where I was just like, no, man. But I didn't want to die, although I did end up taking the pills, but I didn't want to die. Yeah, I didn't want to die. But now imagine somebody who wants to die, who feel like there is nothing out here to live for. Like and it's not like they don't love what they created, their world, their what. Like it's not like they don't do that. They do. They love that. They do. They love everything. They love their wives. They love their kids. They love their husbands and things like that. But they just don't feel it. It's a war within yourself. It's not a war within around what you love, around what you don't have. It's a war within yourself. You are fighting against yourself. The critic in your head is loud and and she's here. She's showing you everything. And that for me is the voice of the devil. I swear. Because if you believe in God, if you are a Christian, you are somebody who understands that God will never ever try to tell you to get to that space. Like there are no voices that will come from God that will get you in that space. And every man's biggest battle is the voices in their head. The point is not to hear those voices, but the point is to know how to choose between those two voices because those two voices are gonna come. They coexist together. But it's all about practicing which voice you're gonna listen to more, which voice you're gonna, But there are those days where you just don't feel like doing life anymore. Not that you wanna die, but you just don't feel like doing life anymore. And it's important to just take rest because there is so much toxic culture, guys. There is so much toxic culture going on, and the fucked up part is these things are being normalized. People are looking at the way another person, like imagine, people are normalizing the fact that talking about mental health is seen as weak, and we are all just normalizing that, especially for men. Whoever started the narrative that a man opening up leads them to being seen as weak. It's just like, it's crazy. That is toxicity that was let out and it's being normalized. And we just sit there and normalize these things. So much toxicity going around, cutting people off, making it look like you don't need anyone, like you're your own. That's how we are. Some people are adults who don't even know how to apologize. Friendships are just falling apart because people don't want to take accountability that, yeah, hey, he and Olivia was wrong and she's right. It's not a thing, that type of thing. Everybody just want to be a boss ass. And how are you being a boss ass? How? 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 Toxic culture is being normal. Guys, you won't believe what happened to me. I recorded so much that my phone died on me. So parts of the things that I said, I didn't even see that my phone died. So I was just sitting talking to myself. Oh, yeah. Before I go, I thought of something. I wanted to say how sometimes we allow society's standards and society's pressures to get to us, and therefore that can also lead to mental health. Like how much you caring about what you look like in society or what society, whether you're fitting society's standards, that kind of thing can also play a very crucial role on our mental health, especially for men, because once they don't have the money, then they feel like they are not worth anything, they're not worth the love, they are not worth the respect, they're not worth, but that is not the case because you are a human being first. Always remember that before anything else, and therefore society doesn't have to detect when you're worthy and when you're not worthy. You are worthy even when you're going through your most imperfect moments. You're worthy of love, you're worthy of everything that your heart desires, even when you're going through the worst. So, yeah, set yourself free from society's standards, set yourself free from society's expectation, and live life for you and experience life for yourself. And just experience how much of a blessing it is for you to be where you are today in this world and for you to exist. And yeah, you are created for a purpose. Always remember that. This video is already so long, and yeah, I just like to say I'm just gonna end here, and I will definitely do a part two. Let me know in the comment section below if you want to have a part two. But yeah, I will still do a part two just because I feel like mental health is really one topic that I think I would really want to touch on and just speak to you guys because in hopes of helping somebody out there and just shining more light on this topic because it's something that is really, really, really important and therefore came out to you. And yeah, without much further ado, stay blessed, stay beautiful, and always take care of yourself first.